Hey everyone. So, as you can see from probably the hashtag slash title and hopefully what's going on in the news recently is that again, there's been more and more attacks against the Asian American community, more attacks against the elderly, and then one just yesterday where 8 people were killed. Not all of them were Asian, but at least 6 of them were of Asian descent. I think 4 of them are, I believe, Korean. And seems like, and there's like, I mean, it's just it's insane. Like this type of madness and this brutality is just so. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, all I can. I mean, it's one hand, it makes me sad. It makes me angry. It makes me want to take a gun and go do something. And obviously, that's the wrong reaction in a lot of ways. But and I held off like just coming on here and giving a crazy rant because I wanted to cool down a lot first. I wanted to kind of keep a level head, but there's only so much time I can give myself to you know until this is not really a long. I don't know, until this issue. I feel like it's going to disappear quickly because one, there's not enough media attention, and because it's like they feel like a lot of people don't even care about this community, and then there's a lot of people who discredit this art, the Asian American community with like all these attacks and hate crimes. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, there's no hate crimes against the Asian American community. These are all isolated incidences, or you guys are just like just like making this up in your head, even though there's like clear and obvious evidence of from multiple sources, legitimate multiple sources, including the government. So it's like what else does it have to happen? Like, do I need to walk in front of you and have someone attack me in order for you to believe this? Like, it's a shocking how many people are trying to discredit these attacks. And then on top of that, like what's more crazy is like even I just read an article about the whole Atlanta shooting, and the sheriff comes out to and it says like, oh, this guy had a bad day yesterday. He had a bad day, and that's why he went to go shoot people. You know what? Everyone has bad days in their lives. I've had a bad 2 years and I haven't killed anybody. All right. So this guy has no excuse to go have a bad day. And this mofo is also supposed to be of God and of Christ, and if I myself consider myself a follower of Christ, and nowhere in the Bible does it tells people to go shoot anybody, and anybody who uses God's name and goes kill people are not of that religion. They're not biblical in any shape or form, and if anything, they are heretics at least. But aside from that, but one thing that's at least is coming at least a little bit from this is there's a lot more people trying to make more awareness. Even LeBron James tweeted about this incident, and I'm very grateful. Huge name. He's at this point the best basketball player on the planet next to KD and a lot of other people. But and it's like there's a lot of people who says, oh, he just tweeted something, so who that he tweeted something. These are the same people that could be angry if he didn't. It's like they're not happy either way. Like those are the type of people who just kind of unless like even if you see that person like play the NBA more and go out and become an activist, it still won't be enough for them. So I mean but that's a whole nother situation. Anyways, but anyway, yeah, I don't even know what else to say, but I mean, luckily, even today, I mean, there's something that was I don't want to say uplifting, but how would I describe it? But I'll just describe the incident. But basically, in San Francisco, a 70-year-old lady by some 30-year-old man, white man, and she fought back, and she fought back hard. So she fought back so hard that this guy had to be taken away in a stretcher. So everyone's basically calling this grandma a badass. And I think is the part that I think is kind of funny is because in every news article, they quote her saying, or at least translating her Chinese into English, says like, "This bum attacked me." And at least and maybe that was like before the news clip, but I was watching the news clip. I'm like, she is not saying bum about this guy. She is saying a swear word in Cantonese about that mofo, which is well deserved because that fool is that. And the most ridiculous thing was like, as he was being carted away, I don't know what he was saying because like, it was still a news clip. As he was being carted away, he was still yelling stuff back. And the grandma just like, I don't know what happened. Like, I didn't do anything like this, this mother beep and was like attacked me for doing nothing. And like, what, I just don't understand the kind of hate a person can have in their heart that's so bad, that's so strong that'll cause you to just go out and attack random people that are loosely associated with whatever hate that you have. It's like, oh yeah, maybe you hate China and all this corona shenanigans. Yeah. But what does attacking, Asian Americans have to do with any of that? Huh? Like what, like there's no rational reason. I mean, it'd be the same if like, I hated Hitler, so I'm going to go attacking a German American. It's like, you were I think any sensible person would probably look at me as like, well, that's not the right thing to do. Like, why are you attacking this guy who wasn't even in our country and blah, blah, blah. And for things that, another country did, it's like, why would you do that? And it's like, but like, when you flip the narrative, it somehow makes sense. But the narrative right now to a lot of people will like, they'll try to justify it, and it's absolutely horrific. And I don't even know if there's going to be like a positive outcome from all of this. I mean, President Biden has actually, denounced some of this, but I feel like he needs to do more. The states need to do more. The police need to do more. I mean, I don't know what else can happen exactly. It's like, unless you just start like having a police state, having freaking martial law everywhere. But I'm glad the Asian community has really stepped up. They've started doing a lot. A lot of people have volunteered to walk other Asian people, like of elderly Asians, if they ever feel unsafe, to the cars, if they need to go shopping in like downtown Oakland, because a lot of this has happened in Oakland. And I think that's great. But at the same time, it's like, like they shouldn't have to have that, right? Like everyone on this planet and in this country and arguably in this planet should be able to walk down the street, go shopping, go get groceries, go get shoes, whatever, without having fear of getting hit, of getting attacked, of getting robbed or mugged. But there are obviously the reality is there's bad people out there, and and these bad people are, they know they can get away with a lot of it. And so they just continue doing it. And some of them, they just don't give a crap. I mean, most of these people that are doing these crimes are not exactly upstanding citizens. A lot of them are like repeat criminals where the justice system has basically have done nothing to rehabilitate these people. And all they've really done is just churn out, more hardcore criminals. I have no idea who the Georgia guy is, but like, from what I can dig, he even if he wasn't a criminal, he is definitely one now. And I'm just waiting for um some kind of BS article to come out where it just highlights like this guy's life as like, oh, he was just a misunderstood youth. He had a hard life growing up, and he has mental illness. Like that's all it was. Like he had, like a lot of them are saying like he has a sex addiction, and I'm like, so what? Like what the hell does that? How's that? At any point does that have a justification for him to go shoot people? Like, and the fact that he was paying for it, I'm like, what does that have to do with this? Like maybe he don't want to pay enough or whatever. Like I don't like. There's no rational justification for any of his actions. And I feel like the media at one point or another, like they're probably going to bring his family in and be like, he was a good boy. He would never do this. We just don't know. And it's like, come on, man. Like you're trying to make like I feel like the media is so quick to make humans of all these, I'm sorry to say, but all these white shooters and these terrorists who are going around killing Americans, they're so quick to point out like the good that are in them. They're like, oh yeah, this guy was a Boy Scout. They always helped out at church. He would always walk his sister home, and then if if the perpetrator of these heinous of any is a minority, they'll find every single speck of dirt ever known about this person. Like, this person was never got good grades, was truant in school, and one time he was at the doctor's office, he took two pieces of candy instead of one. Like they'll roll out all the dirt that they could humanly find on these people, and just to like give them a bad name, versus the other side, it's like, oh well, like this person's just always misunderstood. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh, so like one side is just hardcore criminals and the other side is just sad cases. Like, and I'm sure, and I get it's not always the narrative, but it's so common that these stories are basically ran for so long that it's like basically common knowledge. Like everyone's it's so ubiquitous that we're all just like, well, here we go again. Here's the media like trying to spin it their way because, sure, on some level they're just trying to get, more viewers. They're trying to get more people to click on their websites and like all this other crap. But, but they're also building, but they don't even realize what kind of influence they have on this, on what they're writing half the time, I feel like. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And the only thing I can hope for is like, what, like this hopefully was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that like more will be done to prevent this type of tragedy. And God, I hope not that this will just, it like influence other people to do the same. And I feel like some of it is, there are a lot of people who are definitely using a lot of these incidences to be like, you know what, you should go attack the Asian American communities because of blah, 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 blah. And it's like, whoa, like what have we ever done to you? It's like, we've never done anything like, it's like, and I'm not saying like everyone's hands are completely like innocent. Everybody has like at least a little bit of dirt, but that dirt doesn't justify this mass targeting of one group. It's just senseless. And I hope that we as humans can just look at all these incidences and just start learning, and just start like learning to like be better people. If you have anger issues, go see somebody, go find an outlet, go do something where you're not going to lash out by killing people, taking life. Like that's just something that's just is so inhumane. And there are people out there who will justify it. And that's even more sad. But I don't know. I'm running out of the words to say, and I'm honestly, I'm honestly starting to babble. But I hope that the only reason I'm making this video because I want to bring more awareness. I want people, excuse me, to see this who have maybe not heard of this, maybe have heard of this, just to continue to spread, at least the hashtag stop Asian hate. And then this needs to be more, um, this needs to be taken more seriously. But anyways, that's it from me. Thanks, guys, for watching. For those of you who are, I hope that you guys are out there staying safe, and keeping yourselves healthy. And as always, tell someone you know you love them. So have a good day.